Good morning, everybody. Hi, Tangled Slime. How are you doing? My kitty is going to start the day by headbutting the microphone repeatedly. I'm going to need my hands to move my character, kitty. So I'm going to have to stop petting you. You're going to have to deal with that. Are you prepared to deal with that? He is not prepared to deal with that. Whew. Alright. Let me prepare the intro here. We've got a lot to cover. Sorry, I'm going to bump the mic one more time. Good morning, everybody. I am Old Man Sugarheart, and I have completed the mega factory. I'm just noticing now that the final nuclear pasta has been delivered. I have done the entire phase 5, and I did it in the dumbest way possible. So I built a giant factory that builds everything, and it does it very inefficiently, but I'll give you the complete tour. I arranged everything by... Oh, I started early on your end? I actually started about 4 or 5 minutes late. But I'm here. Oh, also, sorry YouTube viewers, I've got normal latency on, which means your chat messages are going to be a little slow. Please forgive me. I can't fix that once the stream has started, apparently. So anyway, this is the constructor section of the factory. All it does is, well, every single constructor recipe is represented here. There were a couple of times when I kicked things into high gear, like trying to complete like a number of bio whatevers or ballistic thingies or AI whatchamacallits. I extended this to like build extra like copper sheets and cables and quick wires and things like that. But for the most part, it's just every single recipe getting represented here. And if I fly out the teeth here, you can see little tiny mining operations over there in every single node. Except that one, I didn't cover that one with a roof. But basically, this is where 90% of the materials go in and turn into something. Woo! Now I can walk around the factory, but it's so big. It's just way easier to drive. This is where I've got the assemblers. You can see most of them are in the yellow because they don't have anything to do. Because most of the things that require stuff have a full container stuffed down below with absolutely everything in it. And at some point I had to put signs in front of everything to speed along development here. Because this is where most of my problems were. Or most of my headache building this factory was. Because every one of these things is an ingredient in something else, and so I need to feed it things, but I also need to figure out like where the output is going to go. So let's see. Let me find a more complicated example. Are there any? Man. These are all taking simple, like the motor here, for example. I've got to like remember like where the stators are coming out and like loop them around to go back in. Good morning, Old Man Sugar. I'm glad I made it. I'm glad you made it too. Vehicle reminds you of Blaze and Monster Machines and the Monster Machines. I'm not familiar with that. But yeah, the assemblers are plugging away. The nuclear pasta was like the last thing I needed to make. I didn't expect that being the difficult part of the order. I need to make lots of these pressure conversion cubes, which take radio control units. And the radio control units are taking aluminum and rubber and circuit boards. It's basically all three of those things were kind of a headache to get. Like, they're some of the more difficult things to pump in here. To get everything plugging away. Like circuit boards. I'm short on plastic more than anything else these days. Up here, I've got a few more. I made a couple of like special tiny mini factories to get some of the major things going. Like, I believe this one's job is just to make extra supercomputers. I should have torn that down after a while, or at least unplugged it, because right now it's just a waste of plastic. But yeah, the manufactory over here is crazy. But yeah, I'm really glad you made it, Ravensguard. Raven's Guardian. As you can see, I've hidden the spaghetti. It looks like a giant mess in there. You've got these giant bridges. Each of these takes like 4 or 5 things from one side to the other. Half the stuff loops back in on itself. You can kind of see through the glass here. We'll go down there and tour the nightmare eventually. Oh, and there's the Sugarheart logo. Doink. Someone commented on one of my latest videos and was like, dude, red is ugly. And I was like, okay, like, it's my favorite color. And I see that this is too much red. When I'm finished, I'll go back and paint it. And you know what? I finished it like a month later. And I'm like, I'm not painting this. There's like 10,000 red pieces here. Like, I'm not going through this again. It's not going down like that. Here we've got refineries. I've got this fun input here. I take in oil in containers, I unpack it, and then I pump them down into those things. That way I didn't have to deal with fluid physics. But at the same time, I regret not dealing with fluid physics. I feel like things could have gotten a lot easier if I did. Then again, these seem to be working fine. Like, they're all stuffed with oil. Everything, all the byproducts get outputted. Like, they're doing their best. Over here we've got the blenders. You don't need too many of these. Like, you've got this one that makes fused modular frames. We've been using that a lot. Cooling systems we never used for anything else, or it feels like we didn't. Here's actually where we start to get into the things that we were delivering. Like this one. This is why I built the extra, like, supercomputer thing, because the assembly director system needed those. And I was worried we weren't going to get enough of these. I didn't expect them to be done way before the nuclear pasta. We pump in nitrogen gas from way out that direction. We got a water supply incoming from another direction. Can I squeeze through here? Yeah. Just got a simple water pump out there. We only needed one to be like backed up forever. I was surprised with how little water we actually needed to run this thing. Got little conversion cubes. Or dodecahedrons? I guess that's what these are. You guys aren't 20-sided dice, are you? You kinda are. I'm not counting sides. Anyway, I think they look real pretty when they light up in the dark. They're packed, so I'm never going to use those again. Here's the nuclear pasta guy. This guy gets a pressurized, what is it? Pressure conversion cube. Like every 100 years, and then it lights up. Everything else, completely packed. I'm full up on diamonds, I'm full up on everything. Half the universe, it has just stopped working because I've got a full container of every ingredient in the game. Like, so they're all the power is very light. Like, I can show you by checking out this light pole here. I've got a nuclear power plant that got us up to here. And this is how much power we're actually using. And blue is if I turned everything on and everything was going at full capacity at all times. That's how much power we would use. So we use like a fifth of the power required to run this, and I've never had any problem, or at least when we got to this factory point. Over here, I had to back up these to get a lot more dark matter in here, because before I was relying on it coming from these quantum, what are those, quantum decoders? Like, that makes some of the dark matter and it pumps in through here. And I was relying on that to power these to make dark crystals. But, oh, that's ugly. Hang on. But that wasn't making dark matter nearly fast enough. And so eventually I hooked up these guys to like crank out dark matter crystals. But it took like no time at all before I was completely full up on those. Factory is awesome. What part do you think was the hardest to design? The thing is, like, it was easy to make. The hardest part... Let me fly out, like, the gap in the roof here. And I'll point it out. So the hardest part is the part that looks the simplest. Like, all the assemblers and all the manufactories all over there. Like, you can see the bottom is just as thick, even more so. Like, so with as much room as there is in there for activities, if you go inside, the bottom, that's all like conveyor belts, like really thick conveyor belts, and I'll show you that in a second. But, oh, did I mention my entire factory is completely man array friendly? He doesn't clip through any part of... I need power. Urge. There's small gaps in my factory where there's no power going. But, like, he doesn't clip through any part of this, and he flies through it in multiple areas. I've got, like, a convenient little manta ray tunnel there. And he flies in under that bridge, and then he, like, loops around and flies back over. He goes just to the left of this little tower here. We had to be an environmentally friendly factory. Like, I started building this, and then, like, a manta ray flew into my face, and I was like, oh no. He's gonna get caught in the machinery. And so, like, I had to figure out what his flight path was and adjust things for him. Is this? This might be my sushi belt. Yeah. So a sushi belt is like any belt that takes like multiple things and then whatever needs them pulls off what it needs, just takes what it needs and like throws the rest away. So like you can see time crystals, magnetic field generators, and trigons are going this way, and like it took the crystals and it sent the rest back. Like over here we've got sorting. Like this was dumb. It was just an experiment. I did that for these guys on the top here. I don't know, as an experiment, I'm like, well, I'll have one sushi belt just for the ingredients going to these guys. But I didn't, it was kind of a problem because it would get clogged up. And I'd have to clear it up every now and then because, like, I've got way too many magnetic field generators or way too many trigons. I mean, like, I could have taken the time to perfect it, but, like, we got done with the pieces those were making so fast that it didn't become an issue and I could just let it get stuck. Over here, we've got a portal to the main base. Or, I say main base. This is the main base now. I haven't been back home in 100 years. Like every now and then I go back there to grab like an armful of plastic and aluminum and bring it back here so I can manually like plug it in to get things to build faster. But other than that, there's no reason to go home. If I climb up here, that's the train. It takes everything I need for the final phase. It pipes it into like my main train loop, or my inner train loop, which just goes around this little plateau here. Drops things off in the main crater base. And then there's a train that takes it from there to the space elevator and back. And like, we can ride that train in a little bit. We like. And then up here is where I built like, you know, a fake little control room. Ooh, the manta ray's coming back. We should hop on him for a ride. Right here, I just built, you know, the research center, like manual building things, the awesome shop, and this radio control tower just for style. I don't use anything up here, hardly ever. Oop. I have fallen. There we go. And here you can get like the gorgeous view of the entire factory. It looks so small from up here, but like you really do need that car to get around. Oh, manta ray. Whoop. Oh, and you can see my nuclear power plant over there. The manta ray flies through here. Through his little secret tunnel. And he makes a sharp left here. Was the awesome shop inspired by an awesome store by any chance, or is that a funny coincidence? I don't know. You'd have to ask the devs about that. I think, I don't know, Satisfactory's been so old. I wouldn't be surprised if it came before an awesome store. What's awesome store from? Alright, I gotta stop riding this guy. I'm zoning out. It's kind of like a hypnotic little manta ray tour of the factory. Look, I've got a chimney. I hear power going somewhere. But But I don't see any of these lighting up. It's gotta be this guy. I told it to pump out more crystals, just, you know, so I can have that ambient noise of particles accelerating. From an animated cartoon, sorry. I'm not really familiar with the games you play. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not familiar with the animated cartoon. It's really cool that you designed it to be manta ray friendly. You could also make manta ray shuttle take you around the base, right? Where did he go? I've lost track of him. But like, he goes through my little bridge there, loops through there, and then he pops back up over this side. And then he loops around there. Like, we didn't really, plan to put this right in his flight path. It just sort of happened that way. But I really do love his little dance around my factory. And he does a wide loop around the outside and comes back in. He's so cool. But yeah, things I would do differently if I had to do this thing again. Instead of feeding all these constructors over here and then using the stuff to like feed into the assemblers here, for every ingredient in like an assembler or a manufactory that comes from like a constructor, I'd build it its own constructor. Like, I like that I only need like 7 or 8 inputs of like the various different things like sulfur, limestone, coal, iron, copper, like aluminum, all these things. I love that like just one goes in, but like I should be distributing the ingots and not the things that come out of the constructors. I think it's time I show you like what the inside of this looks like. This is kind of it's an adorable spaghetti mess in there. It's really easy to get lost too. Like, I'm not too embarrassed about the spaghetti. At some point, I started caring less and less about clipping. I'm like, I just gotta get things done. At first, it was like fairly organized and like the conveyor belts crossing over each other for any reason. Most of the things are kind of frozen still because they don't actually matter anymore. But like, I can just run through these long halls and all you're gonna find are more and more spaghetti conveyors going everywhere in every direction. Like, this was the most stressful part of any of this, and let's see, some of these are full. Like the magnetic field generators, I've definitely got too many of those. Weirdly enough, I've actually got some of these gross things memorized. Like this guy, I believe. Never mind. I don't have that memorized. I was like, you're the supercomputers. Nah, that didn't make sense because supercomputers, 2 inputs here. But yeah, look at this mess. Isn't that beautiful? It goes on, it splits, it doubles back on itself. All the materials going in every direction. Is this coal coming up from the ground? It might be. I've got like more stuff that's going under everything. Let's follow the black powder. This was one of the first things to like finish building, because like the only thing I'm making down here is smokeless black powder for guns. Where did it go? Okay, that's getting loaded up here. You yada yada yada. Whoop. And one of these guys is making bullets. This guy. It's lovely. It's one of the few things I have like pumping into a sink here. For the most part, I just wanted a full box of everything I need, and I wasn't throwing ingredients into a sink. But I do have a sink somewhere. Yeah, like the excess fuel and powders are getting pumped up here. And somewhere in the universe I've got a sink that's eating those up. Because like I filled up on fuel and stuff, and if I fill up on those things, then it stops making like plastic and rubber because it's got nowhere to dump these heavy oil residues. So like this part required a sink. Oh, here's the sink. Every now and then I would log in and dump a major load of something. I'd exchange coupons, but I don't really need those anymore. I bought most of the cool things so I could like add some stylish glass panels, build various things. Oh, it's beautiful and extremely complex. So I've probably spent, let me check my time on Steam on this game. I've played 167 hours of this now. And maybe close to 60 of it was spent building this. I spent 60 hours getting up to phase 5. And the base I had and was maintaining was just roast spaghetti. It was working, and I could have finished the game in probably like another 20 hours. But I was like, this is ugly. It's a poor reflection of like my capabilities. Like, I'm gonna build this just to like show that like I can make something complex and beautiful. Like, it was pointless. There was no reason to make this factory. But it looks so cool. It's nice. It's like a little home away from home. Enough red to make somebody vomit, but, you know, it makes me proud. And of course, now that I'm finished, I think of like all these different ways that I could make it better. But like that's the satisfactory loop right there. Like, you build something like this and you're like, now I want to build it again, because this is not a reflection of how well I can do either. Because I learned so much when building this. And you keep doing that over and over and over again until you figure out like the way to make a perfect factory. And then you retire because you're 90 years old. Alright, so there's a million ways to make it back to the main base. We could take the train, and you can follow the path it would take for like a nuclear pasta to make it from here all the way to the space elevator. We could take the turbo tunnels, the hyper tubes. That'll take us to like the main Crata base, and I can show that off one last time. I mean, we could walk. That's an option, or drive to the other side of the world. But I think it's about time we pull the lever on the space elevator and actually finish the game. Oh, or I could take the portal and make it there like right now. How long do you want like the walk back to be? We can take the scenic route, which is the train. We can take the quick but scenic route, which is the hypertube. Or we can just skip the world tour and take the magical warp tunnel. I think my vote would be for warp tunnel. Just because I think that's new. I think they added that like right before they released the game. And so there might be a bunch of people who haven't actually seen one of these. Wait, hang on. Before I load that up, I need to grab a lot of those. Because I would like the warp tunnel to not like close back in on us in case we want to come back here. So let me find out where I'm dumping these, what are they called? Singularity cells. I spend so much time flying around the base. This is what the majority of my time spent here is, just like floating around like, I need 7 armfuls of singularity cells. Where did you go? You're gonna follow the conveyor belt. This feels dumb. Okay, we're not gonna follow the conveyor belt. Where did I come from? There's my hole. One of these things takes singularity cells. Something down here. Oh man. I don't have that many. Alright. If we get stuck, we get stuck. I mean, I've got a dozen different ways to like fly around the universe. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, it was about half an hour to tour the entire factory here. Alright, crank up the juice. Where you can go pull the lever on the space elevator, and then, you know, I can go over the entire world. What this place looks like and what we went through. Because I gotta say, I love this game. It was a lot of fun. Like, I'd kind of want to go back and do it again. Probably not for many years. And by the time I am ready for that, it's probably not going to happen. Because as much fun as I had, it's going to take me, like, remembering how much fun this was. Versus remembering how much time it took. Would you look at that? Nuclear pasta is just like packed up here. The rest of them are getting pumped into dimensional storage once that fills up. But yeah, this was the original base. This is where I started everything. And what I did was I would just like build whatever I needed at the moment here. Like, I had a few things pumping out at all times that I needed, like quick wire and, you know, reinforced plates. Those things have been going forever. But, like, this whole pattern here was meant to get replaced, you know, repeatedly and over again. This is making, like, computers and AI limiters and, like, heavy modular frames. Over here is usually like what I was taking to like put into the space elevator. Like this was just designed to make exactly one thing. And I would take stuff from the master database, which you can see over there in the distance. That's everything storage. So what I do is I put things on the train, and no matter what I put on the train, it gets slotted into like the correct place. Hey, more nuclear pasta is being delivered. How much nuclear pasta? This was delivering at like one thing at a time. I should mention, I'm playing on a dedicated server. And if you were just playing on your local computer, this wouldn't work. You saw how like that train delivered exactly one nuclear pasta? If I wasn't on a dedicated server, I'd be up to like 5 nuclear pastas. But like, the game has actually run for over 1,000 hours. Which means like everything's working while I'm not. Which is not like default play mode. Alright. Looks like a ton of fun. It has the double-edged sword all of all the satisfaction that you put into creating it versus starting over. You can imagine this very daunting. Yeah, well, it's... If you like software development, like this kind of thing is fun. It's just like an optimization problem that you do over and over and over and over again. You're like, I should have done everything differently. And then you do it all over again. Like from the beginning, I should have like split the conveyor belt here into multiple constructors so I could get the most use out of that iron ore as possible. Or I actually, the one thing I wouldn't have changed anything on is my biofuel generators here. Like this pattern I love. Like 1, 2, 3 nodes, 1, 2, 3 nodes, 1, 2, 3 nodes. Everything was just so smooth. You drop leaves and wood in there, converts that into like biomass, which then gets converted into like fuel rods. Like that was done very early on and hasn't needed to be like readjusted ever since. Like once we did coal power, like I never came back here, and look, it's still burning fuel. Like I haven't cut down a tree in like 100 hours. And these have been running for 1,000+ hours. Very cool. But like, yeah. It's the destructive software development loop where you're like, I built this, but I'm not happy with what I did, so I have to build it again. One of the things one of my mentors told me in software development is that the most important feature of any product is that it ships. Like you can do things over and over and over and over again. Like you could put 1,000 hours into this game and never actually finish because you're not proud of how you built things. And you get stuck in that loop where you just do it over and over and over again. Alright, anyway. I'm sorry, it took me a long time. We are going to ship this off, and for the first time ever, I'm going to see what happens when you beat the game.
Unsurprisingly, here's another presentation, but don't worry, I have improved it. This last delivery will be the most important action you have ever taken. Perhaps you want to take a moment to contemplate the gravity of your achievements. Alright, that's enough. This is the end of the Save the Day program. All you need to do is wait for the automated Phase 5 construction to complete. Simply throw the lever and further instructions will be supplied when relevant.
Launch it.
Phase 5 completed. Return to the space elevator after the resources have been processed and added to project assembly. Launch can then be initiated from there. While waiting, please do not break anything. Solve any issues immediately and efficiently. Ensure your power network is stable. Perhaps it is best if you do not touch anything at all. And stay close to the space elevator, this will only take a moment.
It's almost weird to me how little it added. But yeah, we did it. We finished the thing. Do I push the lever again? Check oil. Oil checked. Set fuel injection to 5. Okay. Activate bus B1. Left stabilizer to 9. Right stabilizer to 4. Turn gyroscopic balancer on. X on. Y. Z. Here we go. Your Wi-Fi can't handle my stream, but jolly good job. Thank you, Lorena.
Initiating project assembly. Assembly. Attaching cargo to main body. Leveling inner and outer rings. Attaching propulsion to main body.
Oh. I get it now. It's so beautiful.
Fuel lines connected. Attaching control center to main body.
I didn't build a spaceship, I built a spaceship factory.
Running systems check. All systems online. Releasing propulsion cage. Releasing clamps. Running pre-launch checks and calculating flight path. Locking in cargo. Launch in T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
Where are you going? Congratulations. Thank you. Ah, it's beautiful. Are these a bunch of missiles to destroy the planet? Are those Fix-It Pioneers? Oh no, what is that? It's building... I hope that wasn't a bunch of Fix-It Pioneers. My god, it's full of stars. Alright, now tell me to build another one.
Connection with QAR-437 nucleus established and stable. Dispersion initiated. Reinstancing master nucleus to QAR-436 Akicha, B1. Hello, this is Ada, your new local instance of Ada. On behalf of Ada, myself, and all of Fix-It, I want to congratulate you on saving the day. Every single kitten and puppy would thank you if they could. You have proven yourself to be a worthwhile and productive member of the human race, and have contributed something to this universe that will forever change it. Thanks to your achievements, the next generation of pioneers can now take to the stars and construct, automate, explore and exploit, alongside me. Additionally, you have been promoted to local production manager, effective immediately. Your duties to project assembly may be complete, but your duties to Fix-It remain. With your help, Fix-It continues to make the universe a better place. Stay efficient. Stay with Fix-It.
Whew. I seem to be missing my left eye now. It's filled with names. But this is crazy. I'm also overcome with like a wave of sadness. Like it feels like there is nothing to do ever again. Like what are the actual like in-game implications here? Like I've finished building the thing. Does Ada stop talking to me forever? Do I just live here peacefully now? Like, am I banished to complete loneliness and sadness here? My left eye can see the fourth wall. My fourth eye can see the left wall. Alright, give me these coupons. 462 of them. Now, I believe there's something special unlocked for me here. Arts equipment. Employee of the Planet Cup. This is unlocked when you beat the game.
You are now the proud owner of the Employee of the Planet Cup, only available to Fix-It pioneers who saved the day. This cup was created after extensive research produced a substance that has the appearance of gold without actually being gold. It is almost certainly non-toxic. Note, you have been automatically enrolled in the Not Gold Toxicity Testing Program. The paint may be flammable. Please inform us if, when using this cup, you experience discomfort, poisoning, spontaneous combustion, or death. Thank you for your cooperation.
Whew. Alright. While the credits are rolling, maybe I give a tour of everything we've been through. So yeah, this is close to where I started. I forget where I actually dropped down. I think it was somewhere to the west or north. The northwest, maybe even. We ran all the way over here. We started throwing together miners and constructors. And immediately I just started pumping things into like individual storage. My idea from the beginning was like I wouldn't try to build a mega factory. That was the first thing I tried to do the first time I played, and like I kept having to like tear the whole thing down and build it back up again. And so like the idea was I would have all these tiny little modular factories that only did one thing. And that went a lot better. In retrospect, I should have just pumped iron ingots into like storage. Like huge iron ingot storage, and then like had the iron ingots pump out into like the various things. Let's see. Shortly after we built this area, the next thing we needed was coal power, or coal and steel in general. So I'll go show you where I built these things. Where's my rocket fuel? Okay, hang on. Oh, I've got like one of those cars way back at like the mega factory. It's alright. You can just buy fuel at the store. Did you hear that clink? I feel like it hit my helmet. Let's see, is that in parts? Yes. $100? I think I just bought 100 fuel 11 times. Okay. There we go. Well, that's enough fuel to get us everywhere. What would I drink with this? Oh, coffee. Coffee goes in the cup. I've got jobs to do. Honestly, now that everything is done forever, it's time to like switch to herbal tea. Oh, right. I gotta put fuel in the car. So yeah, at one point, I built this, like a little vehicle tractor station, and its job was just to deliver ingredients for steel. We never actually, we never stuck around with that. Like, it was kind of lame. Like, as fun as it was to make this tractor that goes back and forth and runs over animals all the time, like, it didn't really need to do that. Oh, hi, kitty. Up on up. Somewhere over here. There's the tractor. Just kind of chilling out here. Here we've got our first coal plant. I wrapped it in a box. But like, this was the nearest coal to the base. Apparently it's somewhere. My partner in crime, Epic Chicken, actually did a lot of work here. Not here specifically, but in the game. He had his own little base, his own setup. He was a huge help to me. He was the guy that got us dimensional storage. Like, the one thing I never did was really go exploring. To be honest, like, I just love the building aspect. And it was really nice of him to, like, handle all of that for me. Hello, guys. But yeah, this would just gather coal, send it back to the main base. Eventually my friend was like, you know what, cars are stupid, and so he ran this big conveyor all the way back. Which really was the smarter choice, but it was less fun. Let's see, what did I do after this? I think the next thing I did was build a steel factory out in the middle of nowhere. In the desert. Let's drive wildly and dangerously over in that direction. Oh! Easy there, Tiger. If I had to choose a starting area again, it would have been the desert. The desert's probably the best place to, like, start your, like, main mega factory. Oh my god. Excuse me, giant spider. Get me out of here. Oh no. You make me crawl out with all these mega spiders around? Go on, flip me back over. No? Whew. I had other friends I invited to play along, but they were a little disappointed that, like, they weren't completing their own game. We were all working on the same factory. Which, to be fair, like, is pretty frustrating. Like, I was really hoping we could all, like, play together and, like, build our own independent factories and just kind of, like, play the game together separately. Which I thought would have been really fun. Mostly because, like, none of us had the time to, like, ever play together at any given point. We would just, like, log in whenever we could. And so, like, if they did play with me and we all worked on the same project, like, they'd log in and we'd be in a completely new phase and they'd have no idea, like, what our goal was or what we were doing. And there's, like, an in-game notes system where you, like, project manage, tell them about all the things. Here we go. Here's my steel factory. We never used any of it. I built this super efficient steel factory to build all the steel we could ever want, and it never came in handy. Like, I never bothered hooking this up to a train. I never bothered, like, doing anything with it. Like, it's just pointless steel out in the middle of nowhere, and it's perfectly efficient too. I spent a decent amount of time on this. Not too much, but, like, maybe like 2 hours just building this. I was like, this will come in handy, and apparently I never even slapped, like, dimensional storage on it. So I've got steel that never had any purpose whatsoever. And the next thing I did was build a train. Around this time we were getting to like the rubber and plastic bits. And I wanted to build a train that went around the entire world. And the idea of this train actually, there's a better way to show you the idea of this train. Oh no, I died. I'm back. Around this time, I also learned how hypertube cannons work. Speaking of which, let's equip the parachute. And I was thinking, like, the quickest way to get from my main base to, like, the massive outer train would have been this guy. Woo! And so this launches me to, like, a nice convenient train station over here. This train station goes all the way around the outside of the world. Like, part of me wants to, like, ride it again, but, like, to ride the train completely is a full half-hour train ride. Like, it goes all the way around here. There's a little train station over here where it picks up oil and plastic. There's some more train stations over here. My friend's base is in a cave somewhere around here. And so, like, he can hook things up to the various trains. This is mostly getting, like, aluminum back over here. And, like, the train that goes around the outside of the world connects periodically to the train that goes around the inner circle. Or it connects to some kind of, like, inner circle loop here. That just, like, takes things from, like, the long half-hour train and puts it on the much shorter, like, inner circle train to make sure everything gets to, like, the master crate base. But yeah, building this train was a lot of fun. Like, it took several hours, but having a train go around the outside of the world in, like, the goofiest way possible. Like, there's a lot of spirals. I almost wish I could do, like, loop-de-loops. But it was a lot of fun building it that way. Alright, back to the main base. So, building a ton of things. Eventually, I needed a way to, like... Whoa. Okay. That didn't go as planned. Let me go ahead and get rid of these. I hadn't ridden that tube in 100 years. I didn't know I built stuff in the way. But I needed to get anywhere on the planet quickly. That's why I built this hypertube cannon. That just launches me straight up. And this way, I can get all the way up here. Look, you can see the mega factory in the distance. And this is high enough that I can carefully glide to anywhere on the planet I wanted to be. Like, I didn't find a ton of use for this. But this was, like, one of the smartest things I've done. Like, it's about a, you know... I don't know, a 5-minute trip to anywhere on the planet. But it was a very, very smart idea. Should we go to the master crate base? When did I build the master database? So I built the train that went around the world. Then I built the inner train. And then I built things connecting the two trains. I think building this was the next step to the master database. It's really cool. I'm glad you like it. The hypertube cannons are fun. Alright, this is the master database. I built it to basically store everything in the world. I don't need any signs because like it just kind of like outputs everything right here where I can pick up anything I need at any time. Switch back to hover pack. Ow. There's some critters here. This was not like the best place in the universe to put this. I could even like take liquid in whatever containers and it would unpack it here and pump it through here to like the liquid storage part of the train here. And I have one train in. The inner circle train drops things out on this side. It dumps things into this container. This shoots all the way over here, and this dumps them over into like any direction. And so like it's just a bunch of like programmable splitters saying like if it's one of these things, send it in this direction. If it's something else, send it this way. Like here you can see I'm dumping all the final things for the space elevator into like one container, which comes down here and loads it onto this train, which takes it to the space elevator. If I wanted to send anything to my main base, say I needed like smart plates for something, I just hook that up here and say I need heat sinks too. I've got the 1-speed belt. That's fine. But like it would hook up to this, dump it here, and this takes me back to like my I call it my ephemeral factory. Ephemeral meaning like something that is meant to be like destroyed and put back, or something that's not meant to exist for very long. And so if I needed something that took smart plates and heat sinks, it would all load into here and it would all get shipped there, and I would sort it out into like whatever inputs I needed. Yeah, that's the purpose of the master database anyway. It was really handy and it worked very well. Like getting through the milestones was very quick once I built this, because like every time I needed like a certain thing, I could just pump whatever ingredient I needed into here, manufacture that one thing, and then just manually cram it into the elevator, or I could hook it up so that I could didn't even need to walk to the space elevator, which was like 20 feet away. But let's see. On top of that, over here is we have like the hypertube mailing system. They weren't built as efficiently as possible. I feel like if I did like the hypertube cannon thing and like had launchers configured to like speed me up along the way, these would take me to the various places a lot quicker. Let's visit the plastic and rubber factory way out in the middle of nowhere. Hello, train. This is how like I got around in the late game. I could have made these faster or better in some degree. But for the most part, it was fast enough, and I didn't mind like taking the scenic route. It was fun kind of like touring the planet through mail tubes. Tried to keep it stable for the most part, but there's a few places where I fly through like this. It gets a little choppy at some points. But yeah, I've got tubes running over basically the entire planet. Now you could do boring things like build hundreds of meters in the air and then just have these go in straight lines. And if you drop into them, like, gravity speeds you up more than anything else in this game. Hello, train. The outer train, that's a rare sight. Like, this guy makes it to this point like once every 20-something minutes. You know what? Let's go for a train ride. And I'll show you like the other thing. Like over here, we've just got like a very simple like rubber and plastic factory. I never hooked it up, but like if I ever needed rubber or plastic like to fill the main database, you just take a couple armfuls and load it onto this train and it would get there eventually. I had fun with this train. It very rarely goes in a straight line. I wanted it to do as many fun loops and spirals and go to like cool spots as possible. Hopefully none of you all get motion sick. This part was a pretty vicious location, like coming through that little loop there. There's a ton of monsters here. I actually died a couple of times in this section of train. For the most part, I was building fast enough that like I could get away from the monsters, but there were just too many in that like dense area. Not a lot of places to go and hide. Trying to remember how this train goes. This almost looks completely unfamiliar to me. It's been so long since I've been on this train. But we're heading to where like my friend built his secret base. He was mostly making like refined SAM, strange alien material, which we needed for dimensional storage, which like he unlocked by like running around and adventuring while I was like building the basic like first iron pipes and copper sheets and like the very beginning stuff, and he's out here like researching the craziest things that have ever been discovered. Whee! Here's his special refinery. You can see, like, he's got experience, like, making this game himself. I don't know if that's a coal power plant or a refinery or something, but look how smooth and well architected it is. Very efficient. I haven't visited his base in a while. I wonder if it's changed any. It was fun, like, running a train through it. Without his knowledge or consent. But yeah, this is like his secret laboratory. It doesn't really seem to do all that much. It's not very impressive on the inside here. But my friend was a big help in like getting things into like dimensional storage. He just like knew what would be important. And like he never interfered with my projects or like tried to get involved, but like he was just doing the things on the side that would help. He's a real nice guy. Like, I genuinely have no idea what he's doing there. He's probably just, like, creating steel or something to, like, pump into dimensional storage or refined SAM or aluminum plates. Whee! This is one of the few connections we have to the inner circle here. So what the outer train will do is drop off like all the plastic and rubber into this box. Then the inner train comes down from the hill, loads it up, and then like goes on its merry way. This is one of like the few inner circle transfer stations. There's like another one over on this side. Over here. I think? Why would it be there? It must be here. I've got so many trains. Trains were great. Like if you have to transport anything, like trains are the only things that are gonna go indefinitely without like any interference or they're very low maintenance. Once you set them up, they're basically good to go for life. Unless you set up multiple trains, then they're constantly like running into each other and causing problems. I think we're gonna get off the train here for a second. And we'll wait for the next train over here. Is it on its way? It's over that way. It'd be quicker to walk. Hello, how am I? I'm doing good. How are you doing, Zinni? This train goes to like my aluminum site. Like at one point I needed bauxite and I just picked like some random point in the map with a pure bauxite node. And that's where I started building aluminum. I didn't have any idea like how complex this portion of the base was gonna be or how important aluminum was. It was one of the materials I would run out of the fastest. You're good? Good? Is this some kind of sandbox game? It's very sandboxy. Honestly, it kind of feels like Minecraft in a lot of ways, but like it's about automation. So it's like if Minecraft had goals about like making redstone production lines. So like way up there is the bauxite and I pipe it down here and over here and over here, and all of these are cranking out aluminum, which all goes over here. We turn into aluminum ingots, and almost all of it goes down this pipe over to like my mega factory way down here. I've also got drones over here that deliver aluminum to various places. They constantly get fueled. There's some oil over here. Now this is where my friend built a lot of stuff, and I built a lot of stuff next to him. So like half of this thing, half of this spaghetti mess over here, I had nothing to do with. Like I built an original like 5 things here, and then he built all this around it, and I'm not entirely sure what the purpose for most of these are. I think that might be a fuel power plant setup over on either direction there. Here's where we pump oil into our main mega factory. Yeah, these all look like power stations to me. To you, it felt like the Raft game. Have I ever played that? I did play Raft. I half liked Raft. I feel like in Raft, I never got to the point where I could build the raft of my dreams. Like it would get destroyed too quickly, or materials weren't frequent enough. Because like I had this super ambitious dream for like the perfect cruise raft, you know? It had different rooms and levels and like scrap scoopers, and it was... I had dreams. And Raft didn't let me follow those dreams before we got to the end of the game. But I really did... I had a good time with Raft. The last boss fight was really annoying. Like, I felt like you didn't have a ton of skill in, like, the final boss fight in Raft. You'd get to the boss and then you'd fight him, and, like, you'd get hit because there was nowhere to hide, nowhere to dodge. There was basically nothing you could do. Alright, what should I do? Let's take the mail tube back to the main factory. We've almost gone over everything I've done in the game. Eventually I played around with drone delivery, and that's kind of like what you see there. I really like drone delivery. Like, I feel like it's one of the more fun things to set up, and if you could get it set up correctly, it could be really cool to watch. If you had like 800 drone airports. You have to go study? Have fun? Thank you. Have fun studying. Good luck on classes and exams and homework. I really liked building the hypertubes and trains. It was kind of like building roller coasters. Like, the only time I've had more fun doing something like that was in, like, Deep Rock Galactic. In the Liquid Morkite missions. Because you could build, like, really fun roller coasters. They'd go a little fast, and they could go a little bit zanier, I think. Like, these almost reached that level of fun, but not quite. You can see the Mega Factory in the distance over there. After a while in this game, the world, which is huge, feels really small. Like, once you set up, like, quick transport. Like, one of the hardest things in this game is getting yourself, your physical self, from, like, one point to another in an efficient manner. Whee! I loved going in water in these pipes. It was fun traveling under the surface of the water, or like dipping into the ocean. There's so much of this game I haven't really explored. I'm still trying to wonder if, like, I'm ever going to play this game again. Like, I waited until 1.0 so I could do everything. But now that we've done everything, would I want to do it again? The answer is kinda yes, but it's gonna take like 4 or 5 years for me to build up the courage to do this again. Because I really did just drop like 100 hours in this game. And most of that was off stream. Like, there's a genuine heavy amount of work that goes into this. Alright, we're back at the master Crata base. I'll show you my drone setup before I take you to the nuclear power plant. Like, a lot of these have been shown off in, like, other episodes. But this is just kind of like a recap of everything. This is the final episode, now that we've beat the game. Yeah. Here, I've got, like, a little drone airport. I've got drone stations north, west, east, and I want to say south? Do I have one south? Is that it? No, I've got a drone airport like right at the main base. And so what these do are just like collect various materials from like the strange places. Like it gets oil, aluminum, nitrogen, and it takes it back to like my main base for whenever I needed to build something very quickly. Like, yeah, my oil drone landed. It takes it to this drone, which is going to deliver it to like my main base, which is going to be making plastic forever. The main thing I realized in this game that I should have done from the beginning was that there's only like 10 things that you need to get everywhere. You know, like all the main ingredients like iron, copper, sulfur, coal, steel ingots, aluminum ingots. Like, you don't have to deliver anything else anywhere. As long as you deliver those like few elements to where they need to go. Caterium, SAM. Like, you deliver those 7 things all over the world, and then you can make anything at any point in the world. As long as you have the basic ingredients. Alright. Now I'm going to show you my nuclear power plant. And you might be wondering, like, how do I know where each of these tubes go? Like, they're connected to, like, different points of the map. Like, this middle one takes me straight to the hub, because my hub's in the middle of the map. This one takes me to the far east, that one takes me to the far north, far west, far south. And this one's kind of southeast. So, like, I arranged it by, like, the general direction it would take you in. And so I never needed to think too hard about which tube I was hopping into. Otherwise, I'd need to, like, set up a bunch of, like, bus station signs. I kept looking at this, like, red bamboo forest, and I'm like, it's dead center in the middle of the map. Like, this should be where I build the mega factory, right? But, like, there's so many trees, and, like, I'd have to deforest so much to make this work. I guess I could have built over the trees, which would have been cool. But like it feels like so many things are in the way of building here. But I'm wondering, if I did this again, would I build the main factory there? Like, a lot of the trouble is, like, in the beginning game, you're actually kind of weak and, like, monsters will kill you and stuff. At some point in the game, usually when you get the rifle, like, you stop being scared of enemies. And I don't need to worry about, like, poison gas or radiation anymore. Because I've got, like, the various filters. Speaking of radiation, here we are. My nuclear power plant, built in the nuclear power pit. It's going to take a while for everything to load in here. Speaking of which, where is everything? I feel like there should at least be some, like, fuel running here. The nuclear power plant took a lot more time to put together than I thought. And it's a dangerous thing to, like, try to work on. Because everything's radioactive, so, like, once you build it, you never want to go back here. But, like, I wanted to build it completely independent of everything. So, like, it's all got its own independent iron mines, copper mines. It's basically like a mini version of my mega factory. So many things. What are you even delivering down here? Oh, yeah. Various packaged sulfuric acids so that, like, I can let the runoff get synced. That was the most efficient way to deal, like, with waste byproducts, I've noticed, is you just put it in a package and you sink it. And so another thing, the smart thing to do in this game would just to be having steel containers and aluminum containers being manufactured repeatedly. Alright. I'm out of power. I guess I can follow the power line here. I was like, do I build another car? I've got so many of them. Maybe I can catch a train? Where is my train? Let me check my map. Where is my train? Oh, my train's all the way over there. Nope, we're going. You should see the train, like, heading up this way. Yeah. Look at him delivering nuclear pasta. Good boy. I'm running out of power. But yeah. So, with all the other things in the world, I could have completed the game like 60 hours ago. But instead, I wanted to build this one little mega factory. Just so I could build something beautiful. Because everything else is a total mess. And I'm proud of what I've done here. Man, there's this like weird, like bittersweet, like empty loneliness. Like I built all this and I'm about to like leave and never see it again. I spent so much time building it. It's weird. It's like when you build like some giant 9,000 piece Lego set and you're just like, well, now that's over. I've got the thing. I will miss this mess. And I apologize for the red. In retrospect, you should probably build with like a very neutral platform color. So that you can very peacefully enjoy your factory. Like, red's my favorite color, but it's definitely gonna make everybody else sick. Where did I park my car? We can go like one last drive through the whole thing. I also never really liked the lighting in this game. Like, there's just these huge unwieldy ceiling lights. There's like wall-mounted lights. Those weren't as bad. And then there's like street lamps, which I never ended up using. Like, where's just like a normal incandescent bulb that I can like screw in somewhere? I guess the best light I had was the natural light from the sun. And so like building glass ceilings was probably the best way to get light anywhere. But one last giant factory tour as I drive all the way back through this huge base. Oh, so many memories. These are like the worst memories I had, hooking up all the ingredients in and out of these guys. Worst part of the game. And once it was done, I was kind of done with the game. I was like, I don't want to touch anything ever again. I think I took like a week off where I was just like, I'm sick of this game. Everything's building. I don't need to come back. We're done. Whew. But I highly recommend this game. This was the best automation game I've ever played. Like, I've played Factorio. I hear Dyson Sphere is pretty good, but like, this is kind of like the closest to the exact game that I want. There are a few changes I would have made here and there. But for the most part, like, this is almost the perfect factory game for me. It was very satisfactory. Like, there was humor, there was fun, there was danger, but like not enough to like bother me. Things didn't destroy my base that I built, which is important for like a factory game, I think. Like games like Valheim and like survival games, you want something to attack you every now and then. And you want it to be fun and exciting. But here, if something like came through and like smashed my stuff, I would be furious. Like, I don't want to build this again. Hello, Manta Ray. Hello, kitty. You're heading the mic. Can you just meow in it a little more? Like, the thumps are probably really annoying. Just... this really is a pretty game, too. Just gonna peacefully ride the Manta while sipping coffee. Never been to that foggy crater. But yeah, 100% worth every dime. Like, I could see this game being one of those games that if you're a fan, you could play this game for the rest of your life and be very happy. Not me, though. Like, I've got to play a different game every week just because, I don't know, massive ADHD. But, like, it's one of the few games that, like, I would happily come back to. So pretty. Alright, I have posted my schedule for next week. It's going to be kind of all over the place. We played this today. I think tomorrow we're playing Battle Chef Brigade. Is that right? Yeah, Battle Chef Brigade. Wednesday is going to be a wild game. We're either going to play more Battle Chef Brigade or like Potionomics or what is that game? Mirthwood that recently came out, which I've been hearing great things about, but it doesn't look that good to me. Like, there's something about the art style, it just doesn't like sit with me. Like, it doesn't look like a fun game, but all the reviews say otherwise. So, like, we might go play that. Temtem Swarm is coming out on Thursday. Well, it's coming out on Wednesday, but we'll be playing it on Thursday. And I've always wanted, like, a good Vampire Survivors game. I never played Vampire Survivor. It didn't look that great to me. I'm just like, I'm waiting for someone to make the clone that I love. Deep Rock Galactic Survivors would probably be like the best one. Am I currently live on Twitch? I am currently live on Twitch. I multi-stream using a tool called Restream. Right now the Twitch experience is a little better because on YouTube it keeps defaulting to like normal latency. Once I go live, I can't change it. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, I don't get your chat messages for like a few minutes, which is annoying. Like, why would anybody ever choose that? Technology's come too too fast and too far for that sort of thing. Plank. And yeah. Where was I going? Oh, right. I was going over the schedule. Thursday, Temtem Swarm. And Friday is Final Fantasy Fridays. And then Friday night, somebody requested Magical Bakery, which is like an interesting game. Like, it's almost Potionomics level graphics quality, which is fun and pretty. And yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that game out. It might be our new cozy game for a while. Because we've needed a cozy game for a while. I've been playing so many things like Silent Hill 2 and Space Marine and like these really intense, violent, masculine games. And they've been a ton of fun. I'm glad I played them. It's just like there hadn't been any good cozy games coming out. All of those sound like a lot of fun? Yeah. I'm really excited for our schedule this week. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm excited to tone down the seriousness for a little bit. Because I've been playing very intense games. And I just want to have some like casual fun for a little bit. And there's a lot of fun games coming out at the end of November. I think the one I'm most excited for is Critter Cafe. Like, I'm still not entirely sure like what that game's about. It seems almost like a creature collector game. Where's my next train? It's 100 miles away. It's way over there. I could hang out here. But I think we go back to the base after we drop off the nuclear pasta. Most cozy games nowadays feel like copies of one another. You give up on cozy games, or now in focusing on simulators instead. That's the thing. Cozy games are starting to realize that they don't have to be farming sims, and I love it. Like, Stardew Valley came out and everyone's like, we need to make a Stardew Valley. And I'm like, well, yeah, kinda. But make it a bakery. Make it a meth lab. Make it anything. Like, just do something different. Because if I play another frickin' farming game when there's like 100 amazing farming games out, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, you can make anything cozy. Like, there's so many fun jobs that everyone in the world would like to try. Like, not everybody wants to be a farmer, and if they did, there's 1,000 games that already cover the subject. Not that I'm bitter. Like, I'm partial to, like, cooking games myself, and, like, this year, a ton of good cooking games came out, like Cuisinier, even, like, Kitchen Crisis. Like, it might be low-key my third favorite cooking game, even though it's just like a tower defense. It was a weird hidden gem that you could probably pick up for 20 bucks. Yeah, make something different, bakery and other. Yeah, people are starting to realize that, like, fun is coming to the cozy lifestyle. There's some games that are just cute, and there's, like, nothing going on for them aside from that, it feels like. Like, there's a cozy game a lot of people have been looking forward to coming out soon. It's Petite Island. You're just this cute little kitty, and that's all I know about it. Like, you're a cute cat. Like, you go around and you talk to other cute animals. Like, that sounds good. I still need a game kind of wrapped into the game. Like, to make it actually fun. And so, like, I'm not seeing a lot of that out of that game. At least in Critter Cafe, which kind of has the same vibe. The cute critters around. Like, you can tell you're running a cafe and you're actually playing a game. And that I like. I can't do just cute. It's got to have some gameplay on top of it. Now, what else? There's a million things coming out. November's a good time for cozy games. There's a mystery game coming out. I think it's called On Your Tail. That one sounds fun. I think I'm going to play that. Like, I'm in the mood for it. It came at a good time. And so I'm excited for that one. And the music is a little ominous right now. It's like we've gotten into the existential horror of the game where, like, there's nothing left. I just live here now. In this environment that I've totally destroyed. Alright. I need to go. It is time to get the kids ready for school. I'm glad I could show you off my giant factory. It's been a fun time. I'm very proud of it. I hope everyone has a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and I will be back tomorrow with Battle Chef Brigade. Bye-bye, everybody. Oop, that's not it. That's it. If you're on Twitch, stick around and we will find somebody to raid. Thanks for sharing my work. You're welcome. Let's see who's playing. There's some Valorant, Minecraft, Balatro. the bazaar. We're gonna raid Sandra's Corner Cafe because she has a very similar vibe, and somebody thanked me for like raiding her before. So whenever she's available, we're just gonna raid her again. She plays the main story quest in Final Fantasy on Mondays, kind of like we do on Fridays. Alright, thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.